Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another interview over here at Behind That Sue. It's your boy Holden Stefan Roy, and joining me today is Mr.
Souliam
and
Handro.
Handro. We got over there. And so these are some local dudes up in Montreal, because I told you I want to get this Montreal thing going on, showing off what is happening inside of our city. These are active players in the current game, as in it's currently December 2019. So if you are watching this far in the future, we're hoping everyone is still active in the game, grinding, but you'll come to see that these dudes will still be at it based on the passion I've come to see here. I went out to, y'all know I did the Mannix review. If you watched that, if not, you should check it out, because that was an entertaining piece of 45 minutes. I was enthralled.
Tell them where we find it.
If you've ever talked to Mannix, man, like
he's something.
It's something, and I don't mean that negative.
He's an innovator.
It's like doing drugs talking to this man, and so you should watch that interview. And anyway, so I went to go see a show, and these two happened to come up on the stage, and we're there, and then we were kicking it and whatnot, and now here we are in the room, because there's some moves being made, and
making moves, don't stress, secure the bag.
Nothing else, what I hope to get out of this is to show y'all watching this who are mostly not from Montreal that the city does have some shit going on, and there are some people you should check out. So there'll be some links to their music and whatnot below. They'll totally give it to me after, so I put the right things down. And so
we got a couple things to say,
Perfect. So here's what's up. Why don't we start off with how y'all got into music? So you can go first, or whoever, and run with it.
I'll go first for that one. Well, basically, me, I'm from the east side of the city, right? And basically, we actually are French first, right? But for some reason, I was not around that people, so I always went to school and kindergarten and all of that world in English since I'm like 3.
Okay.
So I was just living every day in the east, but learning everything from the English west.
So if I may, just so that in case y'all wonder, Montreal is a place where there is English pockets and there are
we're
French
basically
pockets.
a very diverse society, I think we all grew up with mixed, mixed people,
Definitely had some mixed environments like that. But one of the main things is when I hear the East, I instantly hear the word French land going on through, just to add that significance to what he's saying.
So, and it's true. It's just that in the east part, honestly talking, when you go from east to west to a street we call Acadie, it's from a side
That's
to
the
another.
Connection.
It's legit a boundary. We're not saying there's trenches and this shit, but what we're trying to say is that there's a major difference into one side and another.
Yeah.
And we both, me and Handro, had the chance to in our life live on both sides of the city, and it's 2 cities. Like, when you really get down, there's visiting Montreal and then spending a winter and then really being an artist in the city.
We've got some crazy
those
talents
are 3
out here
levels
still.
of being in Montreal, and an artist is not just me as a rapper. An artist is a hustler of something, basically. Like, if you're hustling something on a repetitive basis,
it's just the motivation that you have to go get what you need in life.
Like you said, having the
motivation.
motivation.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And
so if you're able to have like the motivation of something and waking up while everybody could be just not waking up and still yawning, and you'd be like, I believe in something, then you're not an artist.
So I'm just going to ask you questions when I get curious about stuff, because I want that to be what I do on these interviews.
Yeah.
What time in the morning do you wake up?
5:30.
Every day?
Most of the day. If I don't, it's because I worked at the club the night before.
That's respect, because discipline is super important.
You have to. I have a whole scheme to how I put my rhymes out.
So what time do you go to bed at?
If I have nothing in the morning, I go to bed at 12, because I don't need 8 hours of sleep. I need 5:30 to 6 hours of sleep. And if I really want to get productive, I make sure everything's done by 12. So by 1, if I feel like I want to, relax, pop a beer, I'm like, yo, I know what I had to do today. And I'm going to do it, and then whatever happens, sometimes you're just going to get caught up in some movie and then get to a nap, and then you nap till 6. So 6, this is where everyone finishes their thing. So at 6, I have time to chill with you, but I already done my shit 6 hours ago.
So do you wake up and just come up with a whole list of what you're going to do in a day?
No, I wake up motivating myself before planning myself. You have to respect the fact that you're not gonna be down some days. Like, you know, like, it's not gonna be as easy as it is. The discipline is not about the making it constant. The discipline is about understanding what is the challenge and how can you find a rhythm into it. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. I feel like we got a little distracted there, but it's interesting to me to see how people who are very busy like manage their lives, because I think there's a lot of illusions that
this whole business is time management, because if you don't know how to do your basic needs and then find time to do everything else that's important in order for you to reach your goals, and you're not doing what you have to do to reach.
Absolutely.
To get to where you have to.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna definitely get into the various hustles.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like, 5:30, 5 hours of sleep. Some people get less than that. Because there's so much that we gotta do in a day.
I discovered maybe it's because I'm in my 30s now. I need 637 hours. If I do that, I'm okay.
That's fair.
But as long as you compensate it, like, it's not about always. I'm talking about the discipline.
Like you could
discipline
go get it
is the
somewhere else.
rules that you put to yourself.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
So that's what I'm saying, is that I have my rules and you have your rules. It's just maximize
so what was
your
most
24 hours.
interesting was how you say we're consistently at 5:30 as much as you can be.
It's more being consistent of your way of life, of how you manage to hustle the best you way your 24 hours.
But I just think it's interesting, because like I feel like the way people describe hustling in music sometimes comes off in almost an illusionary, like it's not real, right? Like it sounds like everything's just like a party. Whereas when the reality is it's a lot of discipline and grind. It's a lot of focusing on what you have to actually get done. Yeah. So just to have you come in and say that, before we talk about the different things you actually get done and actually just see how you start your day. I mean, to me, I think people can benefit from hearing just some of the more regular things people actually do, because I think those are the lessons that a lot of people are not learning right now, is how to
unseen thing.
It's the kind of shit you're gonna get in books where maybe not everyone's reading anymore, and if you're living that shit, it's cool to like see that knowledge getting conveyed. But so you both do music, right? So you want to talk about your music. Where are you at with that? I believe your album is something you wanted to discuss.
Yeah, my album is actually my music. My album is actually telling who I am, how all of this came to fruition, and to what you're hearing today and seeing right now, and all of this that's upcoming is in the album of how it was made. So, and it's chronologically made. So there's 7 tracks, and all tracks is from the beginning all the way to what's next. And I'm someone really related to energies and my spirit and who I am, and really discovering my inner self. But all of that is just leading to my music. And the best way I can put it for y'all is that track 1 is the beginning, track 2 is the discovery, track 3 is belief, the fate, track 4 is the love of the game, track 5 is are we gonna be able to finally speak it out, 6 is y'all gonna know there's it's my style is having a form, and track 7 is what's next. So that's it.
What are the kind of musical influences that kind of you drew from when creating this project?
KRS-One.
Ooh, that's a really cool name.
Man. KRS-One.
Akon
now, actually.
I could have even said like a bit of Snoop Dogg and Absol.
Yeah.
A bit of that too.
There's a bit of that too. That's some backlashes that I heard.
I've gotten some Schoolboys.
Oddly, actually, though, I would prefer Schoolboy Q. Because Schoolboy Q has an energy where I like the fact that he doesn't give a damn about how you feel. That's his vibe.
And he likes to make noise with his voice, like he's clear, he has a vibe to him. He likes to create like a, in the tone of your voice. You play with that with the beat too, so you kind of
it's fair enough. You're right. But the thing that I see the most is that they're so deeper than what you actually like about them.
Right.
And that's the rappers that I follow.
So why don't you elaborate on that, like deeper than you actually like about them?
Basically, the artist that I'm following, KRS-One is over there and still releasing crazy freestyle up to today. But I'm talking about who's there now. Like there's JID, there's Boss, there's the Hurricane, there's some crazy artists, like there's Denzel Curry. This guy's crazy. But if you take the time to listen to what he's doing, they're all one messengers. You know what I'm saying? We have a message. An artist, especially a vocal artist and a drawing artist, he's a messenger of something. If you have to put an image out in any form to tell a point, you're a messenger. You just decided how you want to put your message, but
So
that's what I want you to like about the artist, and it's so much deeper than banging your head and all of that. That's what you like, but he's so much deeper than that.
So what was? So I'm going to take it then that you're here to bring a message to the world, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what got you to the point of realizing you're a messenger? Because I think that's always an interesting thing for people to hear about.
Honestly, I was writing poems since I'm 11.
Okay.
I started in French actually, and the name of the movie that I saw that really told me like, yo, I want to write poems. It feels good, and this movie is Cyrano de Bergerac. It's a French movie. It's by Gérard Depardieu, if I'm not mistaken. I ain't trying to act up on it, but that's what I had the click of like, yo, I'm gonna do poems. Like, I fucks with poems, like literally, like let's say imagine yourself a kid from the east side that's just seeing people sing hip hop, seeing rap, and then I listen to this,
Right.
and I'm like, whoa, how come you flip words like that? So I'm like, yo, let me write poems like that, and I did that for the rest of my childhood. But I never left the rapper area. I never left the rap, the rhythm, the everything, the blues, the funk, the jazz, all of that. I was raised around it, even though I was on my side in my little room listening to those poetry, you know? And then one day I was just writing, and one of my boys, his name is Easy, and he just told me like, yo, bro, like, you doing, like, this is crazy poems. You have to rap that. Otherwise, you'll be a ghostwriter of that, like that big thing. Nobody's gonna be able to say the way you feel like you saying it. So you better learn how to say it. So, and then this is how rap started.
And how long ago was it?
2015.
Fair enough. What about you?
Yes, hi. I didn't even get a chance to say who I am before, but I'm Handro. I basically, we talked about the couple tracks that we did with Souliam. So yeah, I got to participate on that album. It was actually really fun. But I think we got to capture a bit of both sides to how like the grind happens, and like how it is on sometimes both sides of the spectrum, where like you got the streets and then you got your hustle, and then you have like everything else that's trying to fall into place, and you're trying to make your mark in society, you know. And we got goals, you know what I'm saying?
So,
and yeah.
So how did you get into rapping?
So how did I get into rapping? Basically, I started writing rap since I was like 12 years old. But ever since I was in elementary school, like I remember hip hop always had my ear, you know. And 50 Cent was actually one of the first artists I would say that I kind of like inspired by. I got inspired by. But yeah, there's a bunch of different artists later on after that. But I'm saying like, so yeah, I started writing at 12 years old, and then time went on, man, and I was just like, I had those loose leaves piled up, and then came the iPhone, so I started writing shit on that too. And I mean, damn, I started.
That's an interesting thing. I just want to interject on.
Like no matter,
so you
yeah,
write
no matter
on
where.
Your phone.
Yes, I write everywhere I go. I write.
If I may interject myself, I'm a phone guy as well. If I'm
For
gonna
sure.
write rhymes, it's gonna be on my phone.
It's more convenient, you know, because you
I
don't
just
gotta
wanted to
carry
know:
much.
are you a pen and paper guy, or are you a on your phone guy?
It kind of
depends.
I wanna adapt myself to both. The reason being is that, look,
there's different styles to write.
you have to write down stuff. At least you're brainstorming. Why? Because it's what
Save the trees.
One,
I'ma save the trees.
also, but two,
I'm a save the trees guy.
you don't connect. You don't connect to what you say. Like a real poet connects to what he says. So what I'm saying is that a rapper is they're different.
I mean, you could make a
The
structure
rapper
of a
is
song,
right,
right?
here. The rapper is like, oh shit, you have to do it fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying that the way I work is that, yeah, we'll put that brainstorm fast because it's faster than writing it down. But once it's completed and it's clean, you have to write it down.
For
I
sure.
totally don't write it down, but I
But
kind
I'll
of
write it
That's
down.
how I go about my
No,
music.
I
Write down on
respect that.
distro.
I think it's to me
Shout
it's
out
just
Distro Kid.
it might be a random thing. I'm just really interested in that particular thing because I usually just go with the completely digital version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that so many people are into the handwriting, and if you're watching
Yeah.
this person on the internet, let us know in the comments if you're on team phone or team handwriting because I'm personally curious. You
And
guys
why,
might
not
not be.
don't be afraid to tell
Yeah,
us
yeah,
why,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we could stir up a bunch of different conversation topics on that.
So
I could even create another video, man. You know?
For sure.
I am always happy to make more videos.
sure.
That's where my life is at now. But where do you guys get beats in Montreal? Like, where do you guys go? How did that come to be? Because that's like a
I'm gonna
huge
leave that to
logistical thing.
He's my plug for that,
Well-
so he's the man.
Well, it depends. Honestly, like, I get my beats from like everywhere, but it could be from a producer, this, that, online.
You can feel free
Shout
to
out
name
Beatstar.
drop
Shout
out.
out Our World because Our World I've worked with
Hey,
on
the
numerous
man.
accounts, and he really captured what I
energy.
really needed in a lot of the sound that I was creating, along with the voice and just for everything to blend up. And then came Soul, and I was working with him. But then after that, I was like, "Yo, Soul, you really gotta meet this guy, Our World. I think that like he'd be a good, he'd be a good blend for the sound."
And he's local as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's local, but he's based in Laval, not too far.
Just so
And,
y'all know,
on
'cause
Renee
again,
Lanex
gotta
and
interject
shit
for the
like that.
non-Montreal
True.
folk.
But you can
Laval
find
is like this island across from Montreal. So to give you
It's right next
perspective,
to
it's the New Jersey to New York City.
Yeah, because there's Montreal City, where's the island,
That's what we
and
at.
there's
and
Montreal
you can turn
area,
right,
so
and you
that's
can turn right on red
everything
lights.
around
Yeah, I know that. So yeah, Laval's like the New Jersey, right? That's
Yeah,
a great way to
yeah.
look.
It's just-
Because
but
it's like
it's
fully
just other
functional.
islands.
It's just, it's not, like, it's cool.
Because technically talking Montreal and
I mean, it's
Laval
just
are
it's just
two
not a
little
city,
islands.
right?
That's it.
It's just
Yeah.
not
In
where
case y'all
the
didn't know
it's
that.
not where downtown is. That's all it is. It's just an extension of like the island.
Yeah, it's just basically Laval started as like I would assume more of a suburby thing in the greater Montreal area.
I was born.
encompasses all
I
that.
was actually from the time I was born, Royal Victoria. I lived in Laval for 1 year, so
Fair
I
enough.
still my grandparents are still up there. Shout out my grandparents. We love you.
So when it comes down to actually making the music, the recording process, and all that, you guys have like a studio that you go to that you.
Our world.
Yeah, well,
Our
we got
roads.
we got many. Well,
Basically.
yeah, for that moment, I don't know. Maybe you're
For
doing
that
a lot of
project,
projects.
mostly.
Yeah, for that project
That
mostly.
project for sure, mostly.
And where is our world?
Our world is situated in Laval.
Okay,
Um,
that's local. That's Montreal enough.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Laval. Honestly, I couldn't say the address, but somewhere around the René Lanex.
Fair enough.
That's all I know.
It's just good to know where people are at for
Yeah.
anyone watching.
On Instagram though, it's Our World, at Our World, so
Sick.
you can find them there.
So you guys put out the album, and then what's gonna happen now for you?
Right now, actually, I'm announcing that I'm working with little movie company.
Woo!
Um,
Very
this-
exciting.
Yeah, this little movie company is just that I'm trying to create a new vibe that we call visual EPs.
Okay.
Is that basically I'm gonna start with a short version of the album I released. It's gonna contain 2 tracks in particular that are already out in the album, and a new track that will be released once the movie will be released. So
And
it's a
also
surprise.
a video for one of the tracks on the.
It's,
on
it's
the
gonna be a one video for all 3 tracks. Actually, it's
I
gonna
get
be
what you're
3
saying.
tracks
Perfect.
that will
Alright.
tell a story about. It's gonna be the visual
gonna be like-
explanation of who I am.
It's gonna be like
Basically.
one long video, but it.
Yeah,
Or are you
under
gonna-
10. Obviously under 10 minutes,
No,
but you get the
but
drift.
it's meant one video as opposed to chopping it up into several things.
Exactly. I'm gonna put one video and all 3 tracks will be displayed, and you'll understand why all 3 tracks are needed.
So,
That's basically
we can look at this video. That's gonna be. Do you have an idea of when this is coming?
It's gonna come on April 14th, 2020.
On my birthday.
Word.
So,
My boy.
so
Shout out Aries people.
it's definitely something y'all can watch for, and you'll be out. And you have these. Sorry, the album's not out yet. You just
The
have some-
album is out.
So the album is
It
currently
is,
out,
yes.
which you guys can check
On
out
all
then.
platforms.
And then in April, you'll be able to get the visual summary of the album to kind of complement
movie.
it.
Yeah, the visual movie. It's basically a visual movie, but obviously, I'm having another single coming out for my show of December 14th.
Is this a new song completely?
Completely.
Oh, look at that. So that'll be dropping on all the
Yeah,
platforms.
just because I cannot make everybody wait till April. That's just really far, you know. So I'm having a new single coming out in December, and y'all might run that for the winter.
So why don't we talk about the fact that you're doing a show and that whole side of your world?
Yeah. So that December 14th show.
In which case, give details. 'Cause
Okay, so that show in particular, the first goal is to make people feel what it is like to have a listening party.
Okay.
So it's the listening party of my album. The Night Lasted All Day. That's the name of the album, and it's in all platforms. So iTunes, Apple Music, everything. And the point of the event is to present the album, but present also my company. My company is being an investor's company as I am being an artist. So I am investing myself into having a production where I'm mentoring young kids or young artists and athletes willing to perfect their craft. Basically talking. By doing so, I'm not calling myself the one that knows how to do everything, but I'm calling myself the one that knows how to find everybody that knows how it goes. So I've been around labels a few times in my life, and I won't get into details because there's no just to avoid me
Sometimes
taking
it's
sides
best not to say
on the
things.
biggest hit, you know. But the labels in the past had the kindness to show me how it went and how it works, and everything that they showed me. Well, I'm always a business mind, so I took notes. I have a bunch of books at home. You can ask him. He came through, you know, and them books just is a synthesis of how I'm gonna be able to mentor upcoming artists that are doing the process that we're doing, basically. And one day you realize that everybody could blow, but who's coming back? You know, who's coming back to the hood? Who's going back to the suburbs? Who's going back to the high school?
So
that they grew
just
up?
to be
Who's
clear,
gonna stay relevant?
what you're describing now
Yeah.
is like the main vision for what's motivating
Sure.
your investment company.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that company is just going to be presented on December 14th,
but
but properly.
perfect.
Yeah.
And it's still a show that's going on. As in, will there be people
It's just-
actually
For sure,
performing?
for sure.
Yeah, it's just a plus to the release, you know?
Yeah.
What the release is something that everybody knows that I
Right.
was already doing a release. But what people don't know is that that's what I do out of music.
Perfect.
I invest in the community.
Perfect.
And on this note, because from what he was saying, that party that he's going to be announcing all of this news, it's going to be on 4040 Saint Laurent Street. For those who don't know,
Which venue?
what venue was it again?
Wait, for
It's
that.
at 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Wait, for that,
Or
he's
we-
right about the hours, but
location
I'm also
change?
I'm also
Alright,
here to announce that
let's
the
get it.
location change.
So why don't we tell the people where the location is?
Yeah, it's 5585 Berry Street.
Okay.
It's,
5585 Berry.
it's near a church that's called Église Christ Roi. It's near Métro Sauvé. It's gonna be the same date, same time. It's just that address instead. It's just because I have a partnership with the person
So what?
renting the
At
spot.
some point, you'll have a Facebook event.
Yep, everything will be on Facebook. Now
And
we're
once
December
that
1st.
Facebook event is presented to me, I will link that below.
Oh,
So
for
and
sure,
then
for
you
sure.
guys can check back for that closer to the date.
So now we're Sunday, so for sure I didn't had the confirmation of my graphist yet because he's done with the event. It's just let's say by Wednesday, I'm telling y'all gonna have the information. Everything's gonna be super clear
So
on the links and all.
for if you happen to watch this, that may be the past and it may already be down. But for the
Exact.
few of you that do catch this before that, you'll check back in a couple
If
of
you
days.
watch this, check a link.
So like, how do you guys like? You guys gonna throw a series of shows? Is this gonna become an ongoing thing? So your next move for 2020 would be to throw events. We can
Throw
say that
events.
would be like the best way you're gonna go about building your buzz.
Yeah, because I want to throw them events where I could be out there and seeking for the biggest buzz, right? But I know that there's a big buzz where I'm from. It's just that one thing I know as well is that me studying business administration in university, it really gets you to understand that this game is about how you portray a thing. It's not how great is a thing. So it could be sad at first to hear, but the truth is you could be great, but if you don't know how to show it, nobody will know it. So that's the game. And I'm trying to just give the kids or give the younger ones or the next one like, yo, it's not that you're not good. It's just let me show you how to portray yourself, how to walk,
How to put
move,
yourself on.
So-
you know how to
To
behave.
elaborate further, just because we had spoken about this a bit before we started recording, a core part of these events you want to throw, if I'm not mistaken, is more than a show, but to be a networking event of sorts to actually provide the younger people or whomever it may be
Yeah.
with the different tools required to actually get what they need and to grow in the way that
Exactly.
you've been describing.
Exactly. Because let's say you want to be an artist and you're 17, you're 18, you're 19, and you write, you know you have that fire, right? But you never seen a rapper around you. You never seen someone that actually made moves around you. So I'm trying to have an event where from 7 to 11, you come around 7.
you exchange
and
numbers,
you just have a
Instagrams,
free time,
whatever.
nice music bumping with Handro,
Have a
me,
couple drinks,
Holden,
too.
that's over there, that's just experience of the game. And we gonna have bracelets where we can drink alcohol. And
we're definitely
the younger
gonna bring a
ones
bunch
won't,
of
but
other artists
there's
to
gonna
the
be
function,
juice.
so
Yeah, and there's
you know,
gonna
like,
be
there's
but,
only-
but there's gonna be juice and there's gonna be all of that just here for you chilling with the music bumping, and you'll be able to interact with those people that
exactly.
are moving every day in their ways, and it's actually working. So you'll be able to ask your questions and so on and so forth. All the way up to 9:30, where the fashion show is gonna start, and then the performance leading on to the presentation. of my
Fashion
album.
show.
Yeah.
There's a fashion show.
Yeah,
man.
Hey, man.
and
I
there's
didn't
gonna
even know
be some
about a
merch
fashion
too,
show.
like from a couple
Hey,
people.
shout out to
probably.
Keish.
Who
We'll
knows?
get
Who
to
knows?
merch.
Who knows?
But let's talk about the fashion
Shout
show.
out to Keish.
So-
Hey, her brand's name La Vraie. It's lavraie.com. Hey, she's heavy on the swag, heavy on the game. If you want to look clean
Shit, fam.
and good, you holla at my family. You know, so that's one of my friends way back. We know each other since we were like 13 years old in high school, and she always was about the stylist game. And so imagine a 15-year-old woman just drawing dresses. That's how I knew her, you know. So, and we kept the friendship and all. And you know, people from the east sometimes we try to keep contact, and also we did. And when I saw her release the brand, I was like, yo, I'm releasing music, so I'm gonna have to wear something at my shows, you know. And this is where everything started. And then I just asked her, could you just have a few clothes displayed at your show, and people that are interested into buying them gonna be able to just come and see, because there's gonna be her in 2 of the kiosks that we're gonna talk later. But there's gonna be her in 2 of the kiosks where you're just gonna be able to peep their business, you know. And whatever you feel about them, well, you ask them. And her to help her out, I know she has a new collection that she recently released, so I just asked 2 models that I know to just walk a bit. You know, it's not even gonna be long. We're talking about 30 to 45 minutes out of 4 hours, you know. But It's just gonna be there to change atmosphere. I'm not trying to make it too heavy on y'all, so
I mean,
yeah.
I think it's cool. Like, it's just hip hop. If we're just gonna go there, fashion is currently tied to hip hop, whether or not anybody
Directly.
likes it. And I just think it's a almost like a fun way to break stuff up. Like something I haven't heard other people even bother. I've seen some cool things. Fashion
There have
shows an
had
interesting choice.
there have been actually
for sure.
a couple. I was gang. I
Yeah,
know
but
that.
I'm just saying, if I was at the show and that was the interruption, I'd be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying inside for this part. I don't know.
That's
You know?
exactly my vision with it. Like you have to see it. Like if you let's say we sit down and we break down how we're gonna use all 4 hours, right? So first hour would be legit. You coming in, you seeing the kiosk, nice music that is local in your ears. So you're just out there chilling, hearing what's going on in the city in terms of energy, just the energy. A few cocktails over there, people talking. There's gonna be a natural product company that's called 1001 Textures. So that's 1001 Textures.com, and she'll be there representing her company, and she'll be able to show you the products that she has. There's also gonna be a mortgage broker. That's one of my high school friends. That's gonna have his kiosk with his cards ready, and the stylist that I told you
That's
about.
like a lot of different things. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to hate on that. That's a lot of different and interesting things to expose people to.
Yeah. It's just you don't have to see it as all in one. It's just gonna be there when you get in, and you're gonna have a whole hour you're gonna have a few hours to just talk about that and talk to those people while there's music over there. It's just bringing people, and the event will start at 7. So the show, me taking the mic, announcing who I am and what is all of this. So I just wanna give y'all something to enjoy until everything comes to fruition, literally. So I don't wanna be out there saying yes, it's my show, and no, because people help me, so I have to display them in a way or another. That stylist woman invested in me by designing the shirt just for me, right? She, you know what I'm saying? That mortgage broker believed in me by sharing his stuff in his personal stuff, and that style and that product for her hair. Well, she's taking care of my hair and my skin right now, so I have to put them in display properly.
That's extremely commendable. I know that you are very excited to tell us about the merch, though.
Yeah, no, that's what I was basically talking about what he was explaining. That's what I
Sorry.
was. Yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine.
So tell us more about that. How did this all come down? How did we get to this point?
No, well, I'm basically an artist that, I've been working with Soul for a minute, and when he had presented to me this idea of like the show, how everything's gonna go down, the vision behind it, behind pretty much like bringing a bunch of people to a venue that has not only the option of entertainment and music and showing like your latest release or your next releases, but more about like just giving people the opportunity to explore different fields, and there's going to be something for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Because I know some women or some guys don't rap, but maybe they're interested in the property or the fashion show and about the clothes that they're gonna sell over there.
So what do
You know?
what's your long-term goals?
Honestly, my long-term goals as an artist, like I'm obviously an entrepreneur, and so like I am working on my brand myself, and the logo's already there, but it's more right now I'm taking care of my music and stuff, releasing an EP in just a week. Well, actually, it's gonna be a demo, right? Because it's gonna be 2 tracks, Elementary and On the List. So that it's already an ad that I had put on my Instagram at it's Handro _. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm not gonna give too much information about that stuff because right now I'm focusing on the music and for getting my album ready too.
So tell us about the songs.
Yeah, so the songs on this little demo is basically the demo is called Public Service, right? Because we all got services to give to people. We all have stuff to offer, and we all got businesses, and we want to take that to the next level. So Elementary is basically a bit about that. It's like an introduction. It's a 2 minutes and 15 seconds about but yeah, man, it just captures the whole grind and what the artist has been through and stuff, and what people have to go through while growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, on the list is basically like another version of that, but it's the actual song. You know what I'm saying? It's the one where I get creative. So you guys gotta check it out, honestly.
And then after that drops, do you have something else lined up that you're already
Yeah,
working
yeah.
on?
We well, I have the projects with Soul that I was gonna do. We got some videos to do, you know, the mini movie exactly, and then well, I'm gonna put together it's like a collab EP of like 5 or 6 songs that I did with an artist Shamanic, and it's gonna be I don't know, I'm bouncing back between the names, so like I'm not gonna, you know,
That's cool.
reveal that right now, but like in the next week, like everything is
That's
in the
it.
next month you're gonna see some news about that.
That's very cool to hear.
Thank you.
So yeah, so I get the feeling they're very business oriented.
Me?
Yeah.
I studied business before the art, so and I got to realize that I was just a fan of art my whole life. It's just that I always ended up being a business first because you got so.
It's really cool because I feel like if you'll notice a lot of the artists aren't that business savvy. They they're great artists. They just don't seem to care about the business side of things very much.
The world's changing.
But I guess what I was curious, following up with that, so you rap, you do the business stuff. Do you have other things that you into?
Well, all of that is platforms because at first and foremost, I'm an athlete.
Athlete, eh?
Man runs.
First and foremost, I played football since 2005.
Okay.
So it's just that, like I said, I have to eat, so I became a hustler. So me in school, you know, it wasn't. Yes, I have my high school diploma, but
Fair enough.
It wasn't getting
me
you
in
paid.
school, it's just I got to college. College worked, but
I
and
can
then
appreciate
ta-
where you're coming from.
yeah, I tasted university, but my bank account can't. So I'm just I just decided I'm not gonna put. Hey, I have no disrespect against education. I love education, but don't go to university if you don't know what you're gonna do with that.
Yeah,
paper.
exactly. You need to know what you're.
Completely- honestly, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's an investment.
If you know where you
Don't
want to go
there
in life,
because-
go to university.
I
Yeah,
actually,
because they know they're gonna tell you yes, go to school, but what you gonna do with that school? Did you got contact while being there for 3 years? No, then you wasted time.
I'm actually on your side. I dropped out of university because I went into psychology, and psychology at the time had like a 10-year plan, and then it's like you're in your late 20s with like a lot of debt and making 40K a year, and you're like, oh.
It takes time.
It's
to
not
pay
gonna
back.
cut it, you know?
It really does.
Yeah, so I mean, fortunately, I dropped out before I accumulated a real amount of debt. But even the small amount, you know, one day it was like $100 a month.
Yeah,
You know, it takes forever, and I ended up not really benefiting. I mean, going through CEGEP in Quebec is kind of fun, so do it because it's dope.
That's fun, yes.
And it's worth it.
Yes.
Because, like, honestly,
Not gonna lie.
I had a really great time. And I learned shit. But I had a really great time. So I can't say don't because it's cheap in Quebec. So
But Cégep in Quebec to me is the best way to go if you're not sure. It's just that 3 year Cégep part. Like there's the 2 years and then there's the 3 years.
I went the
You
2
should do
year.
the 3 years if you
I
want
went
to
the
say.
2 year and took 3 years. And then it was just a lot more time for the fun parts because that.
That's the
it
other
kind
side
of
of Cégep.
because like if you're lucky, CEGEP can be a lot like what you see on American
For me,
college
like,
TV.
It is.
Yeah,
It
but for
is.
me, like,
It's a
CEGEP
JUCO
was more
college.
like, CEGEP was more the transition where, like, I realized that, like, I really want to become an artist, you know, a rapper, you know, because at first I was there for drawing and stuff, like, I wanted to get
you
into, like,
draw?
the graphic, yeah, I went to into the graphic arts program, and, like, we had to build this portfolio and stuff, and, like, today even, like, a couple of my friends are actually, like, tattooing, like, remastered versions of like certain stencils that I did, but that's something that I actually wanted to do back then, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a passion of mine, but I guess like, you know, sometimes things didn't work out, but writing and like, you know, making music was something that I always wanted to do, and it's something that I never stopped doing, you know, like the writing part, knowing how to, you know, just literature in general. So and I mean that's where that popped off, you know.
So, do you guys both like to read?
Yeah,
A
a lot,
100%.
sure.
That's the perfect answer.
100%.
Yeah,
What
a
would
lot.
be, for both of you, the top 5 books somebody
Ever?
has to read? Like, has to read this book because it hits you in a way.
Comment se faire des amis, Dale Carnegie. If you're a businessman,
How to Win Friends and Influence
it's
People.
How to Make Friends,
How to
Dale
Make-
Carnegie.
How to Make Friends and Influence People. But
Exact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Dale
also a
Carnegie.
very good one was also that I read that was given to me by my dad. It was the Steve Jobs book, the one that they had released on him, and that kind of explains like a lot about like, you know.
I swear my girlfriend just bought me that book and
That's
it's sitting in my
crazy.
living room right
I
now.
bought it for my mother
The
the
one you
next.
said?
The
I
one
bought
he
it for my
just
mother on her
described.
birthday because that book, like, I felt like I had to share it, but I wanted to keep my copy, obviously. So I went out and bought that for my mother at Chapters, and yeah, she enjoyed it. It literally made my mom go from, like, it gave her more of that independent push that she needed to. She's a graphic artist, you know, but she was in fashion design for a long time, and so. Yeah, man.
the push to-
She's like doing her own thing now. You know, she stopped working for other people, and she has a couple companies, and she's actually doing pretty well. She designed a lot of my artwork, so
That's pretty awesome.
you could go
Yeah.
check that out. Graphic Design Days
And
on
also
Instagram.
another book, and also
Yes.
this is the design graphic. What's her IG?
It's Graphic Design Days.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just,
You're gonna see a lot of work about that account soon, so better follow it. And another book. If I could put another book out in my top 5 is From Pieces to Weight, 50 Cent. This is a book where you really get to understand that you better be humble because there is crazier people than you. So get your plan fixed and follow that. Don't play superhero. Don't. You have a vision, follow that. Don't try to get into someone's footsteps, because if you do, it gets south pretty fast, you know. And that's something that, yes, I'm from Montreal, and it's not Compton, it's not Bronx, it's not LA. I get it, but it's a sneaky ass city, though.
It just there's still, to be fair, like 2 million people on the island. So if you
3 million people on an island that's not even 5 acres wide.
No, it's 2 on the island, 3 in the greater.
Yeah, but that all of that. Okay,
Yeah,
let's say the
yeah.
greater.
They all come to Montreal.
But yeah, and let's say that greater part is 3 million, but think about it for a second. All of that area part is not even 10 acres. It's super, super small. All those little cities are super small. Lachenay or whatever, where Repentigny. It's big for us, but when you look back, it's just like a part or just a block of land. Like it's all of that is just right here, and you can say that it's true because look at the traffic in the highway, look at the highways, look at the city itself, all that traffic that it caused because we're so much dealing in such small areas.
We've
So.
had a lot of immigration to our city in the last couple of years from a lot
starting in the
of
70s,
places.
so it kind of went way back, but yeah, 70s, but especially honestly, it's really between 2000 and 2015. It's been heavy, you know. And right now, like me, I was actually born in Parc Extension, and near the Parc Jarry. Back then, it was Africans and Haitians and Jamaicans and Hispanic people a bit, but that was it. But now, there's people from India, there's people from Pakistan, there's a lot of Arab people. Like, there's so much more mixed, you know?
And China has bought a lot of property in Montreal.
Yeah,
so there is
gentrification.
a lot of... We can definitely claim to be one of those places that has everybody. So, but what I thought was striking, because somebody might be from Toronto or something watching it, is Toronto, everything is really spread out and like in little buckets. Montreal,
It really is.
People may live in buckets in Montreal, but we all go downtown and we all go to the same places. So you can't get on a bus or anywhere in the city without seeing
Yeah, you're most
everything,
likely gonna
everybody,
run
every
into
culture
somebody.
possible.
Because
You know.
let's say in Montreal, let's say if you're from Toronto and you're from Markham, or let's say you're in Toronto and you're from Brampton, and you have a car and you have everything you need, you won't go to Toronto downtown all the time.
Right.
While Montreal, you could be from Repentigny, you work in Montreal. You
Yeah.
have to come, you know.
Like-
You work. You're from.
Yeah, a lot of people come
I
from
knew
around around like outskirts, like
Yeah,
even
because
and come
I know one
to
of my
work in
friends
the
that was
city.
with me in school, and we went to UQAM, that's in Berry-UQAM Metro,
It's
and
kind of like downtown Montreal.
yeah, but she lives in Deux Montagnes, so
which
like,
is 2 hours away.
yeah, traffic is 2 hours away, so you get to realize that this is the routine. Like everybody's going back to the center and then going back out, and then coming back in and then going back out, and that's so Montreal could have. We could be small, but on a high day, there's at least 4 million people in the island right now. You know what I'm saying?
I would go 3, but I get where
Three,
you're coming from.
but yeah,
Yeah.
more 3 than 4. But you get my drift.
So yeah, like it's basically Montreal's pretty busy. It's pretty fascinating. From our music scene, though,
Yes.
I just want to comment a little bit on that from my perspective. Is Montreal is absolutely great for tourists who want to go to festivals. If you're a tourist and you
Yep.
want to go see some big names at some festivals,
We
Yeah,
have
and
it
fun.
all, man.
Yeah,
you will
Honestly,
find something
there's something for everyone.
almost every day. But it's to the point where it's almost every day of the week. So I was in Toronto over the summer, and on a Wednesday night we couldn't find anything to do at like 10 p.m. and it was
Never you
I'm
will
like,
have that in
Toronto's
Montreal.
like fucking huge. I figured, no man, Montreal does not sleep. Okay, like it really there's
Toronto
not a
has
day fucking
purpose.
off.
Montreal just don't sleep. Like they just don't.
Just goes. But what that has is a bunch of us on the local end who are not festival tiered, because we're talking like the city is paying for your festival. There are some people that the city supports, like LT's is a local dude who gets to do jazz
Yeah,
fest
so
and
that'll
shit.
be Turkey.
He's
man.
fucking a great guy. I have known him for a long time. He's like one of a giant list of people I know who gets like the city put him on.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially on the English side
He's
of our
touring
city.
a bunch of spots,
Because
around the
if
world.
Quebec has language politics, for those who aren't aware, and the French side of the city gets a lot more government love than the English side will. So as people on the English side of the city, what do you think our city needs to do to put itself on the map? Because there's gonna be Quebec
This
as in
city
French
needs
side
to
and the
start.
English.
I feel like, honestly, my bad if I interrupted you, but I feel like what the city needs is to understand that we are what we need.
Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Elaborate by meanings that the West's gonna try to get the attention of Toronto. The East gonna try to get the attention of Quebec and trying to have that little different slang or different energy or that different thing. While if we would work together, we would shine more, and then everybody would have the piece of cake you trying to get on your own side.
So what I'm hearing
That's
you
my
say
point.
is everyone's trying to capture everyone.
Yeah,
like,
basically
I'll
what
give
everyone
externally, though.
needs.
Yeah, I'll give you an example.
Everyone's
Let-
trying to get it their own way, though. That's
yeah,
the
so
thing,
let's say I'll give you an example. All three of us are
but
in
that's
the boat.
fine.
Let's say all three of us are in the boat. There's a hole in the boat. You're gonna slide to your side and say, "Oh, the hole is not on my side." That's Montreal.
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's
I'm
because we
happy
all
that
have
the
our
hole is
own
not on
paths,
my
right?
side,
It's
but
just
there's
that
a hole in the
nowadays, for those of Montrealers, the artists that like need or want to come up in the game, I mean, what definitely does help is making events and putting them all together in one room. And trying to push that PR, trying to make people get connections. You talk to other people, talk to the one next to you, share your experiences, share your plugs.
I like
It's
where you're
the
going
only
with
way
this.
people are gonna bring themselves up in Montreal is if they start doing that. But it's okay. I understand if some aren't doing it. Like for example, those that have already been doing it for a while. Like there's Fouki. So yeah, what we're basically talking about the artists that were already like that have made it, or like that have paved the way for themselves to be where they're at today and to be able to perform at festivals and all that. It is because yes, they solidified, like they found the people around them that were willing to work, and like just everything came together because they shared a common goal and they decided to talk and relate and build, you know what I'm saying? So that's all we gotta do.
So I find that interesting because I guess I follow a segment of Montreal hip hop on Facebook. It's quite dramatic sometimes.
True. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm never gonna say names. I never want to be that guy.
No.
But it's sometimes love and hip hoppy. But one of the main complaints every single person has is that everyone's making moves and nobody knows about anything that's going on.
And that's the thing.
Where it's just why, like, when I hear the idea of throwing these networking events that aren't, it's like it almost cuts the bullshit out of these rap shows. Because as a guy who's come to these rap shows, if the fans aren't coming, and the only people coming to the show anyway are just a bunch of rappers and singers and people trying to network, which has been my experience at most events I've gone to that are smaller scale, well, then maybe just make that the focus and you might actually do something with it. I find that to be a really interesting idea.
To be honest with you, the reality is it's how influent you are. And that company that's gonna put shows together and mentor kids is just about building how influent you can be. So, and it's gonna put it in display. If you don't have a network, my G, we're gonna see it at that event because you haven't sold anything. Nobody's gonna say that they came for you. You know what I'm saying? They say that, oh, I came for the main event, and oh, I heard that this guy's performing. I heard that this guy invested. I heard that, or this guy is the main. It could have been another an event where I'm not the main.
So let me ask you a question then. Let's pretend you're a little rapper who decided he's going to start today.
Yeah.
What does he got to do to get to that point where he can start spitting out a
He
show?
has to know himself.
Well,
He
to
really
start
has to
spitting
know
at a
himself.
show, I mean, first of all, you need to find a person who's gonna put you on. So that's gonna be like, it could be Soul, it could be anybody. There's a couple of people in the game right now, but if you want to be put on, you can.
Even that.
We all got connections. You
Even
know?
that, to be honest with you, even that is step 2. I feel like the first
You need
step,
money.
You have to know yourself.
For
You
sure.
have to know what the F you trying to do with the microphone. You have to know what the F you trying to do with the camera.
But if it's
You
his
have to
first
know.
time, like he wants to perform,
yes,
you know?
you could be performing, but if you don't know yourself,
So,
you're gonna look bad.
If it
For sure, but I'm saying like for someone who does know themselves, like as an
Then
artist,
that's
and
the
who
other
wants
step.
he wants
You
to
know
take it
yourself.
to this.
Then if you know yourself, you already polished, or you feel like you know it. Me, I'm gonna ask you what's your network. I'm gonna look at your IG. I'm gonna look at your everyday posts. You could tell me you're ready to perform, but if I don't see it, I won't put you at my show.
So,
you know
so
what I'm
you
saying?
correlate the social media value to the ability to perform. I'm just this is curiosity, right? Because
Yeah.
I
that's
mean,
what I'm
you have to
hearing
be
you
able to
say.
sell
Yeah.
tickets
Yes,
enough so that
Because
your
I agree
venue
that
is-
your social media score will correlate to ticket sales.
Yes.
I don't think it means very much for ability to perform.
No.
That's
but
where I
feel
disagree.
like I'm not gonna put someone that has no content.
But what if the
because
man
I'll
has
market
money
it at
though?
first.
I'm saying the man has content. He wants to put it on stage. He has
Yeah.
the money. He wants to
Voila,
put it
you
on
said it.
stage.
The man has content.
But so
That's
here,
what we look at.
So then
If
I
you don't have
wanna.
that and you say you want to perform,
For
I
sure.
can help you.
But the followers, it's kind of like it's irrelevant because like. You know,
Well-
we just want to be able to put you on that stage.
let's
You know,
go-
like, it depends
well-
it depends for what you want to do. Let's say like let's say
but
it's
my
not for
point
your
is-
events. Like
my point is my company is trying to put an event where if I put somebody else than me as a main event, this person already has.
So let's say not main event. There's
Yeah.
openers. Openers aren't going to necessarily
Need all that.
Right. So let's say your main event, fine.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have 3-4 other people come on through to open that event, right?
Yeah.
For those people, I don't know that social. Personally, I would say
They
having,
don't need to.
having a social presence as a non-main event is an unfair requirement to a city that doesn't have a huge social
My
presence.
point is not about only the number of followers. Like I said, is the number of followers you got.
I liked your
what
content
you
point.
do every day. It's not about do you have 200 or 2,000. Is if I look at your stories and I look at your posts and I look at the distance of time since your last post, I see that you are constant. That's what I want to see on the social media, or that's what I want to see out there. I mean, we're all digital now. So if I don't hear you at venues, let's say, like you said earlier, before the recording, there's gonna be people that don't go to venues.
Right.
They're not into that. How you gonna get them to know you?
I
Then
mean,
do you have
I
something?
totally appreciate that.
But he
So let's-
obviously,
so let's flip this.
He obviously
We
would
can-
have content if he's trying to get on the stage.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm
let's say
saying?
Let's
you have
pretend-
all
Like,
that
yeah, sure,
content
fine.
ready, but
Maybe
you don't
maybe
have
you
it
don't.
found.
Yeah, maybe you don't have that, but like at
Yeah,
least.
my company basically is that you have your content.
So it's gonna be kind
You
of
just
hard for
don't know
kids
how
to
to
like
push
come
it.
see you then, right? Because
That's-
they're not coming to you with like.
and I'm not.
That's my other point. That's
How
where
would we- how
that's
would we
where
grow
my
that?
partner, that's where my partner of the company comes in.
Yeah.
She will give me the possibility and the openness to be there and be like, yo, I'm gonna go to that community center and I'm gonna recruit some kid. That's the part
And what is
of
that
the
kid doing?
kids. Let's say whatever that kid. Let's say me. My job is to.
There's already young
people-
artists over there at those places.
But my company is to put in place an event where people that you haven't heard of that are great
Yeah.
are there.
For sure.
But if you come to me for this thing, I don't need you. I know where to go.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you want me, then you're gonna pay me or you're gonna show me some network that you already have.
Nah.
But my plan, on my bigger scale, I already have the team of people I want to put out.
For
put
sure.
up,
So
you
I
know?
mean,
I don't need people.
100%.
That's my
So
point.
I totally respect that. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's your event, you want to make it exclusive, and you have to have a certain threshold of effort or however you
Exactly.
measure it in place. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
And honestly, you, in my opinion, do need a digital footprint. But there is just a bunch of people, let's say, that don't have that but can still make moves. However, what I got from you is if you can prove your consistency, you can
Exact.
prove your shit, and that's
Exact.
what's important.
Then it's
with
gonna
it.
gonna
Exact.
go somewhere, you
So-
know.
Exactly.
Another thing is something I think a lot about is this money part, right? Because dude can buy his way on your show. Now, I've been to many shows where you look at the flyer and it's like a lot of names. I'm gonna say everybody paid to be there. And when I started rapping a few times, I paid to be there myself because I you know, at the time you don't have a lot of choices in the
Yeah.
city. That is a fact of Montreal's live scene is unless you're willing to put up some money, good luck getting started outside of the open mic circuit, which is highly underutilized by rappers. Rappers go open mic, you get fucking footage. Anyway, it's true.
Thank you. You have content, free content.
But that's the thing. Like
But
sometimes
then, if you're the promoter,
yeah.
and you take anybody that pays, what if you end up with 7 guys that don't blend? Because that is kind of what happens. When
It doesn't really
promoting.
matter because the thing
Who-
is that like
for who though?
Good
it-
question.
for the even the artists, it doesn't matter because like there's people they're
So-
getting that stage time
So
that
I
they
s-
needed,
I
right?
stopped performing because it matters so
But it
much.
depends, look,
that,
so
like,
there's
I
different-
couldn't find a lane.
But
to
that's
go
what I'm
down.
saying. Like, there's a lot of companies that I couldn't follow anymore because of just the direction they were going in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all depends on what this promoter or this booking person is trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, if you're lucky enough to find the ones that like aren't there just to take all your money and maybe take a small portion. Like, for example, my last show that I did yesterday was a radionic show with Freddie Fame, and basically we had to pay. I basically paid to bring in three people that came to see me perform, but along with that, it sparked a lot of curiosity throughout Montreal with a bunch of other artists. There was literally 30 artists that came to perform, and imagine 30 artists under one roof at like the Blueprint Lounge with special guests like DJ Chino. There was DJ Dynamic. There was even Fizi the main source. Shout out DMS. Like, I mean, I think my follower base grew just by like 15, 16 followers, just because I spoke and like I shared my vision. They shared theirs. Like we clicked, and I mean that's all Montreal needs right now. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
I think that's one side of it, but let's be real.
at some point, everyone needs to get paid for their time, but Like you could even bring your own merch. Like that's if you're not ready to invest yourself as an artist. Like being an artist, okay, cool. You can make music, pose. Everyone
So,
could make music in
There's
Montreal.
something I would like to see more than 30 artists in a room.
Yes,
200 fans. 'Cause
that's what I'm saying. Which
there-
it brought out
there's-
three people per artist minimum. So like
those kinds
there was just a lot
but
of.
when I say fans,
It's more
I mean,
PR.
So
you
let
know
me
what I'm saying?
just elaborate it a little differently. I want fans that I don't have to bribe, because technically that's the situation that's going on. Is if somebody has to pay in advance for those fans, that's not organic, right?
No, for sure.
So to answer the
But then
question
there's
about
all the promo on
who gets-
Instagram and all that.
but who
like,
gets hurt, where's the cost,
nobody
right?
gets hurt really.
So that's what I wanted to challenge a little bit,
Because
because
it depends. Like obviously $300. If someone's charging you $300 for a show,
don't go.
do not go.
Just don't go.
Anything under, honestly, I don't sell myself short
I mean,
anymore
allow me
because
to
I'm not
retract
rich.
that
I don't have
statement.
that.
If it lets you open for your favorite artist, pay for
That's
your
a
bills.
different story.
Do
That's
that.
a different story.
Because the
if you're
truth
opening for
about-
Rich the Kid, you do it.
Fans is that we all have lanes, right?
yeah.
I'm a lyrical corporate dude. Truth is, most of this city's rappers and me on a stage, unless they're in that lyrical smart lane, like, you know, the kinds of fans that are gonna go back, rewind bar, you know, the certain lane of that shit, it doesn't work. So trap dudes come in and start rapping about like crack dealing and shit. My fans came to the show. My fans never came back to another show. You know why? Because it actually
Yeah, for
has
sure.
there's such an
There's a
impact
thresh.
on a theme to the show, like a feel going on. And that's why I just question if taking anybody's money to perform at anything all the time is going to create. In software, you'd go with brand loyalty, user loyalty, right? How do you get them to come back? Like Domino's gives you pizza points, and then you get that free
Yeah, they
pizza.
also give you coupons on the website too, so you can like
So-
save more money.
In a sense, what I feel like what we do with the show, where we take everybody and we put everybody on it, is we're like a website that throws ads in your face all day
Pretty
long.
much.
And nobody likes that.
But it depends. I mean,
Well, I hear what you're
it really
saying.
it depends.
from
Like, is
an-
it constructive? Because like
for who?
for the artists,
What about the fans?
the fans, yes, they're gonna definitely be made. But like you have to start somewhere.
But
You
what
know,
I'm
like
saying is-
for some, I was
is-
telling you, like for those artists that don't have all those platforms, you know.
But that's a networking event for artists to meet artists and stuff. That doesn't actually get like fans, because fans is like the other
Well,
side.
I mean, it kind of does because there were fans there. I'm saying like, but yes, I get where you're going. That like top scale performances.
But that's like low scale, because that's the beginning of it is to. So what I love about what you're saying, because don't get me wrong, I love this networking idea because I think it's actually a key part of this plan. I think what you said is a crucial key to success of this city. We have a lot of people who are doing things who don't know that other people are doing things.
Get yourself a booking agent. That's like, I mean, you know,
Don't agree with that.
I don't know about
or
the booking
become
agent.
one.
Well, maybe I agree with that.
Well, here's the thing: everybody can't play every role.
Exactly.
At a certain point, there's going to be a tier of bosses,
That's why
and
you
there's
have to
going to
make-
be people who perform.
You can't just tip the
To be
scale.
honest,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
way I see it is that it's like high school. It's like the streets. If someone already went to prison, it's like prison. It's all about the same thing. If you want to survive, make them eat first. If you go in nature and you see a lynx, you see a puma, or you see a bear, you better give a piece of meat if you don't want to be the piece of meat. Because you are in his territory. You are the new mouth to feed. You want to eat, give us something. That's the relationship of the artist and the fan. You want.
But no one's
you
gonna
want the
give you that.
fan-
I
want-
don't know. Me
you
myself, like,
want
I
the
was
fan-
never given.
Wait. You
Sorry.
want the fan
Go ahead.
to like your music. You want the fan to come to your shows. You want the fan to follow your process. But what will you give to the fan?
I would curious. I hear what you're saying. I mean, I have my opinions on this too. My questioning was, does it make sense for the fan, I guess, to go to that show? And the answer is no. And I say this from a lot of market research. This isn't like coming. Like,
For sure, a fan doesn't need to go to the show to listen to my music at all.
That's not what I mean. So what I'm saying is the fan doesn't want to go to the networking show with 30 rappers, because you know what the fan wants to see? You for 20 minutes. And you can't
For
get
sure.
that at the show with 30 people. It's actually more like that. Nobody wants to come for me for 5 minutes. They'll come for 15, 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, it was like 5 minutes sets, but still, yeah, I know what
Which,
you mean.
Again, from a
It's
networking
still, it
thing,
was long, you know?
if you're trying to get some opportunities, if you're trying to impress industry people, actually those events are amazing. Those are like,
Those were the ones,
So,
basically, that's all it was.
you know what
you
E3 is, the video game thing?
Yes.
It started as a tech conference for journalists, and then it turned into what it was. But essentially, the first thing you're describing is kind of like what E3 is supposed to be, like a tech conference. It's a behind-the-scenes type thing.
It basically was a behind the scenes.
And
type
that
thing,
is
bro.
an amazing thing for one side of life. But there is the more important part, because here's what's up. If you want to avoid paying $500, you have to tell a promoter you're worth $500, right? That's kind of how it is. So how do we get fans? And that's the thing that a lot of this city is missing. And I'm saying, regardless of how good you are, regardless of how long you've been in the game, regardless to it, there's very few names that have done anything outside of this city. And there's very few names that really have followings even within the city. And you can say this because, as he pointed out, all the social numbers are there. And
You also gotta go around. Like, you can't just stay in Montreal. Like, that's another thing that we're gonna I'm definitely working on doing, is trying to go
go
around Quebec and stuff and try to build my
Very
way
smart
up. You
thing.
know, because Quebec is pretty big. There's a bunch of different places, a bunch of different people that that could give us those opportunities. And I know La Petite Grenouille does that too. So those are one of the spots that you're gonna probably see us at in the following
See, I
season.
like the way you put it like that. You go around Quebec and you go to different. So here's something that's facts.
It's like risk,
about,
You're never gonna win if you don't fucking.
What he said is smart, because it's something that I realized.
If you want fans, you have to go get them, and
And you're not going to
One
get
by
them
one.
in Montreal.
no,
actually.
you won't.
So a fun fact about Montreal, like
'Cause
we
people
said,
don't
is
know
it's
where
so
the route
saturated. But apparently, if you go to Chicoutimi or one of these little towns, they
They
have
know
like
people from
2
here.
shows a month. That's
Mhm.
it. So if he goes
They
to
have
the
barely
middle
any
there,
entertainment.
and then you're a Montreal rapper
And they're like, what
in
the
small town
fuck?
Quebec. And
No, you
I know in the Rockland, it's just like fucking crazy. Like my sound engineer is a drummer.
Yeah.
And he goes to these little towns and he's like, dude, you don't understand, man. Sometimes they like follow you around the city. and shit
Yeah,
after,
they
like,
have
you're
their
a
phones out with the
superstar and,
lights
like,
and everything, and
it's
they're
fucking
actually
crazy.
You tell them
So-
to do one thing,
is
they'll
not
do it.
representative of Quebec.
No, but what I'm trying to
Necessarily.
But you have to go
describe
get your
is
fans
Exactly.
everywhere.
He's actually
That's what I
pointing
said.
out that this
That's what I
grind
said.
makes a lot of sense from what I've understood. But
It does.
there's still
Think about it this way. You release a project. You perform here, there, and the third part in Montreal. And then all of a sudden, you release a new flyer saying that you're going to perform in Quebec, Trois-Rivières, Drummondville, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, Chicoutimi, all of those 6-7 cities. They'd be like, yo, he's having a little tour. If
It is a
two
tour.
of them cities work well, you blew in local. Because
well, it's even like
because they're gonna be 2 different cities plus Montreal talking about you.
Exactly.
So whatever the little bullshit you're gonna release, be like, whoa,
So
it's gonna look big right away.
one of the things I would have to agree with Handro is that you do need money if you want to play any kind of a game.
I
Because
mean,
you-
if you have a car,
hustler,
if
no?
not, like if you don't have a car, then you need to get one. You need to find a way to get one.
you don't need a car, you
Or-
need money.
What? There you
need
go.
money.
Yeah, what he said. What he said.
I'm
You
like,
need
I can
money
tell
in
you
life.
one thing. I don't have
Go
a car.
get your money.
I promise you, if I can set something up, somebody will show up with a car.
Yeah, but rich
For
people don't
sure.
drive. You know what I'm saying?
You know what it is?
Rich people don't even drive.
It's that driving
to my car
is such
next
a
week,
waste
bro.
of time for like a regular thing. Like I take public transit
Yeah.
because I can read and I can write. I can't do that if I'm in a car.
Facts.
And I know
Yeah.
a lot of people. Well,
Because of routine life, yes, you cannot. Try.
no, but
I
it's just,
realized that I
you
wrote
can't,
a lot
while
less
driving
when I
a
was
car, literally driving a car, read a
Don't
book.
read
You don't have
Right
to do
and
it at
drive.
the same time.
I'm
If
saying,
you,
but-
if you take time out of your day, you can take your
But
car. And
what
go
you
somewhere.
can do with
Do it.
public transit is make your public transit reading time, thus
Yeah,
compounding
it's you
time.
could do
Yeah,
stuff with your
that's why-
time.
That's
I
why,
definitely
to
do most of
me,
my PR work on
driving,
a bus,
Driving is a waste of time
unless I'm shot.
if I have to physically drive.
In Montreal, you're right.
In Montreal.
Yeah.
That's a huge in Montreal.
Yeah.
Because I live in Montreal on bus lines. Yes, it
You
takes
don't
a
need a car, right?
You
And-
could go from one place to
there's
the
not
next
even
in
time
Montreal. You
savings
could
to
do it
drive
by
versus bus and rush hour with traffic. So
Uh-huh.
like it would be just no gain. Anyway, that is real shit. Public transit is how I get a lot of stuff
Shout
done.
out, well, no.
But the public transit is really for the people
Shout out
that what
MTL
you're dealing
Blood.
with is close to metros. You're doing it here. You know what I mean? Everything you do is needed to be in the island. The car is needed when you'd have to leave that island.
And even
for
to that end,
XYZ reason.
I like even if rent a car. Just rent a car.
Communaute, guys. Like, I mean,
I was wondering.
Like-
I think I'm gonna use Communator
Yeah.
on Christmas because, like,
it's
honestly,
like $5 and then you can use whatever car that's in the area. And then you
Yeah.
bring it back. You just have to fold it up and that's it.
fair enough.
You know?
Anyhow,
Sorry.
so is there anything else that y'all wanna touch up on here?
The only thing I want is to talk about is really making people see the vision of everything, because we talked about a lot of things today, and people, I don't want people to get lost into how deep this goes, but the best way to put it in a simple way is really that what we're trying to do here is understand what is the flavor of the city, this Quebec province, and even bigger later. But my point is, the vision of Canadian rappers, North rappers, us the rappers, the me, because I'm a rapper, but more of the artist, the hip hop culture that goes deeper than even graffiti and dancing. You know what I'm saying? It's about understanding that Montreal has it too.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. We have it too. And my business is to make it seen to you guys out there that are in
Yeah,
Toronto.
for sure.
that
We're
are
trying
in-
to push
you know,
push upwards on the map. You know.
That's the whole thing. We're just trying to make you see that we can get really deep here too, from the Montreal area. Because I'm from Montreal, born and raised, not because I don't like Quebec City. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, if you guys want me to one day cover Quebec politics on this channel, I can. But if you're from Montreal, it's not. Anyone from Montreal knows what it is.
You know,
facts.
you know what it is if you're from here. But now it's kind of time for them to know.
Well, that's a great thing. You know what?
That's it.
Actually, do you feel that us rappers should rap a little bit more about what the fuck's going on at home?
Like, bruh, like you're freaking seeing that yellow cone every day too.
Well,
so
I
why
mean,
don't you talk about
If
it?
if it falls under your everyday struggles and like what pushes you to make music, then by all means, like fucking write
mean-
about it. Write about anything.
Write about anything you live, because that's what they will follow. Not you
Facts.
saying that you flexing about a bitch. No. Or a girl. No. Or whoever. No. They're gonna flex, or they're gonna be happy about you flexing because I took that STM bus for 5 years, and then just because I was able to clear off my debt, now I have a good car and I have a good plan for my future. Like, it's like me and you know what I'm saying? If you go in the TD bank and get a loan, yes, some people like us, we do it, you know what I'm saying? And but I'm gonna rap about it once I flip that TD loan, you know what I'm saying? That's the difference. I'm trying to make you see that I'm like you and you're like me. It's just that I grind since 5:30 in the morning. That's it.
It's a good time.
You know?
I don't know. I can't do it. I'm trying to work at 6. I'm 6 to 6:30 in the morning, but I really do try to wake up.
6 to 6, yeah.
Even on the weekends, I'm trying to train myself to wake up that early.
Yeah, but I don't go to work. Like, I work on myself in the morning, because this is where I know I got the best juice. That's why I keep the working for the money at night.
I personally go to work because I'm into my paycheck, and
Yeah.
Yeah, for
My
real. I
job's
love my
pretty-
paychecks too.
I got blessed with an
Get yourself a
education at
job.
work. If you can get a job that teaches you how to be better at your side hustle,
And I have
Facts.
that. And I have
don't
that.
quit that job.
And I have that. Like, I'm a security in the bar in particular, and I'm telling you, like,
For
they
sure.
gave me a lot of hours.
Being
so I
in the
don't- I
restaurant
don't-
business for
financially,
like
I'm
5-6
good, you know?
years, I mean,
Nah,
it's
that's it.
definitely
And,
helped push
I mean,
my music career.
I just think I don't know. I wouldn't be able to have this conversation with y'all if I hadn't worked, made enough money to buy some kind of
Shout out
expensive
to the
shit.
mic.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and I didn't even, this is almost a budget version, as you can tell by the aesthetic. But like,
But you're gonna remember that one day, you know?
oh, absolutely, I love
Exactly.
it. Because I'm currently planning the visual upgrade. So hell, within 2 months, you may come back and it's gonna look fucking a lot nicer. But it was 3 years of this. Why? Because that's where you started, and you just kind of, and you know what, man? It was piece by piece. It was like,
And you have to remember it, man.
But like it was all honestly because I personally I had a job. That was the thing that made me be able to keep doing this and was
Facts.
making sure that income was coming in. Because as much as see, I didn't agree with the idea of just promoters should book anybody because they can pay. Because yes, that's good for the promoter, but it's
I
bad,
mean, it's not
bad
gonna
for a
go
lot of-
further than that if you're an artist and
Right.
that's all you know.
But like, I would just say as advice as an artist is
Mhm.
think about who you're performing with, unless it's one of those giant networking events.
For sure, you definitely want to stay relevant. Like, you don't want to go perform at a spot where it's like, where there's gonna be different types of, you know.
Well, here's an it. I'll just tell you a little story. I went to Piranha Bar. Piranha Bar.
Has a bit of everything.
But we did a hip hop show there.
Yeah.
And I invited a bunch of my colleagues. I work in a software company, so everybody's middle class, older.
Okay, yeah.
You know, above the age of 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
They all show up, and within 30 minutes, somebody throws a drink in the face of somebody else. A fight breaks out. Big old shit. Police come outside. I mean, this is outside the event, but whatever.
Okay.
What happened is my colleagues went back to work and told everybody. It took me over a year to make a single one of my colleagues come back to another show.
But now you're talking about another reality of
Yeah, but that's the kind of stuff that happens sometimes.
That
You know what
happened
I'm
one
saying? But
time,
like,
and since then, I've just been smarter about who I book myself around.
for sure.
Because you always...
But I mean, you can't always like. I mean, you're in the middle of downtown, right? It's a different story. Like, it is St. Catherine. I'm
I've
like,
been at Piranha Bar and it didn't happen.
yeah, for sure. I've never heard that happen.
Man, it depends, man. I
So
feel like
there is the
you're
side.
I mean, it
right
happens
about
at
who
some
you
point.
bring in, not
So
where
I
you
don't.
bring them.
I'm trying not to say names or be any
No,
kind
Yeah,
of
for sure,
specific.
for sure.
I
I'm
know
saying that the
that.
promoter
trying to talk
who
about
set
nobody.
up the event let anybody come on through, and this was the consequence.
And this is where I get in with what the fact that I do security, you know. I don't do security just to pay my bills. I could have
Right.
done other thing, you know. I did a bunch of things. People that are close to me that would watch this video would know how much I did things and I could have got different type of careers. It's just that when you look back, you get to realize that it's just a matter of like, look, you need an investment to invest into what's gonna be your real payments. That's what you know what I'm saying. You have to build it somewhere. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You have to go get them coins, literally. So when I look back and I'm like that security part where you say that, oh, you went to that bar and then it trashed down. That's gonna be part of my vision too. I'm doing security not just to pay bills. It's because I want to change that image of like, yo, everything that's hip hop or that's rap in Montreal is going to be related to guns.
So I would
let's
like to
change
point
that.
out that this was one of about 70 shows I've been involved with. So just one.
Just one. Look at the back.
I'm just trying to say, because I don't want to paint the city like it's like that, because unfortunately we have had some recent events, but it was more the fact that I didn't read my fan base, and I invited my fan base to a show where I was the only act they cared about. And that meant that I brought in people who were bored for several hours as opposed to really enjoying the event.
Then, yeah, you have to fix your list so it looks more like you.
Not necessarily in full, but
Yeah.
I don't blend well next to Guy talking about selling crack, as you can imagine having listened to me this whole time. It's not that music can't flow,
Neither do I.
but like on the other hand, it's not a universal statement. There
Yeah,
are certain guys who rap about that, who do it in such a way where it's about the grind, where it's about business, or it's about whatever. A good example is the Griselda Records, or I don't know, 50 Cent, or one of these dudes, where it's bigger than that. It's about making money. Then there's just dudes who really, you know, spin it in a different light, and those, it just sounds in a way where it doesn't mesh well with me. And so then if my fan, and that's what kind of where I was going with the whole bigger thing. Just stuff for y'all, whoever watching, to think about. You don't even have to agree with the damn thing I'm saying. It's totally fine. Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have more you want to touch on at this point?
Well, shout out HSR 514
Yeah,
for
shout
giving
out
us
time,
this
man.
time, you know?
Well, let's go with the whole.
This was, I really appreciated this because
Nah,
at least
man.
we got to cover a lot of, we got to cover a lot of topics, guys.
I like
so
long
thank
videos.
Thank you for
Yeah,
your
yeah,
time.
It's good for it's what we do here.
So shout out to you, bro. Like first and foremost. You know
Shout
what I'm
out to
saying?
those ones, because ultimately whoever watching
sure.
it, because that's for
Yeah.
me. I appreciate y'all coming through because for me, it's just important to show people that there are people in my city doing some things.
Yeah, man.
And
you're
And
not
I
alone,
appreciate
man.
Souliam too for bringing me on this one.
Always,
I
man.
had to, I admit I was a bit late, but like,
all good.
I rushed over here.
As long as you're here, man.
It's important.
it's all good. So yeah, definitely thank y'all for being here. All the socials and stuff will be linked.
Shout out to Handro too, shit.
It'll all be linked in the bottom. So it's great to have been here with both of you. I hope y'all out there watching this found it like super interesting. Feel free to definitely do that thing where you leave us a comment. If you do make the effort to leave a comment, you know how it is over here. I'll make the effort to answer you. Feel free to hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel
Yeah.
for more reviews.
Also, if you listen to the album or his next
Yes,
projects,
for sure.
like, let us know how you feel about it. Like,
Yeah, don't be afraid to DM us. We will message you back
We
100%.
will talk back.
We exist.
Like that's also part of the mission. If you say something's trash, well, we'll have a straight up discussion with a group,
Yeah, straight
and we
up.
won't take it personal because at the end of the day, I'm gonna make music till you like it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
he's gonna do
facts.
podcasts till you like it, and he's gonna release some content till you like it. So at the end of the day, we need to know what you like.
We ain't leaving.
Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all.
Take
Yeah.
care.
So anyway, before we wrap up, then special thanks then to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, Coney Sparks. They do up their support. We do helped us get to a new camera, helped us put this shit on Spotify. Websites coming soon, all that good stuff. They also got to tell us what albums to review, and so the next couple of weeks you're gonna see more of their stuff because the more of them, the more albums they tell us to review.
Yep.
So that's super dope. I also make music myself, as usual. You can check that out on this channel. You can check it out on Spotify and everything. Let me know what y'all think about that. Let us all know what you think about collectively.
Yes.
Some Montreal shit right here. And yeah, that's about the end of it. So yo, live long and prosper, everyone.
Ease. Peace.